Welcome back to the NCAA Cross Country Show. I am your host, Gordon Mack. I am in my living room, different, not in my office. It's late at night right now, but I'm recording it just for you to be up on time. This is going to be a great episode. This is going to be my favorite episode of this short-lived season so far. Today, we're going to do something special. For those who don't know, who follow the FloTrack podcast, I love me some cross country, but I also love me some NBA. And with that said, today, I'm going to do the first ever NBA NCAA Cross Country crossover comparison. That's right. I am going to tell you who in NCAA Cross Country this year, who their comparison is to the current version of NBA players this year. So I'm going to be going through some of the top athletes in the NCAA, and I'm going to say this athlete is the LeBron James, this athlete is the Kawhi Leonard, and so on. And you guys can get a sense of basically how I see the not only the NCAA season playing out, but how the NBA season is going to play out. So, but before I do that, I want to first give a big shout out to my colleague Kevin Sully. He's been doing some great content on the podcast. He also has been doing some race breakdowns, which have been going up on our YouTube channel, but also up on the FloTrack homepage. So check it out. We got these race breakdowns here. Pretty cool stuff. He recently did one on Gaday's 5K world record. He did one on Jakob Ingebrigtsen's indoor 1500 European record. You get the idea. It's great content. Check it out on the YouTube channel and also on FloTrack. But before we get into that, let's take a look at what happened this past weekend in the NCAA. We've been talking about teams a lot, right? We had the updated rankings. Nothing much really changed. There may be a couple cosmetic movements, like we moved Oklahoma State up from 4 to 2. Notre Dame stayed at 3. Arkansas moved down from 2 to 4. BYU went up from 6 to 5. Iowa State from 7 to 6, et cetera on the men's side. On the women's side, again, nothing but just cosmetics, right? NC State stayed at number 1. Colorado stayed at number 2. New Mexico went from 4 to 3. BYU from 3 to 4, et cetera. We kind of really know who these teams are by now. We're just waiting for regionals to hit. We're waiting to get the teams locked and loaded in Tallahassee and then go for the title in what's like 3 weeks from now. It's crazy. So if you want more dive and deep analysis on the conference championship results, we did an awesome podcast on Friday last week with Kevin, where I broke down most of the major conferences, immediate reactions. But this is not about teams. We talked about teams. We will talk more about teams in the next episode. Today we're talking about individuals and specifically their NBA counterparts. So let's dive into it. This is the official NBA NCAA crossover comparison official rankings. I don't know. I'll figure out the title by the end of the podcast. So here we go. Let's start on the men's side. We're going to look at the top 5 men. Connor Mance. He is an NCAA champion. He's been around. He's super consistent. You know what you're going to get for him. He is kind of a no-nonsense because, he doesn't thrill, really. It's Connor Mance. He's going to go to the front. He's going to run well. He's either going to win or he's going to get like top 3. So Connor Mance is the Kawhi Leonard of the NBA. Kawhi Leonard, NBA champion, high-quality player. But no one really is kind of talking about Kawhi Leonard as, a top 3 player because they're just assuming he's going to be in the mix, and he shows up every time he plays, and he, hits game-winning shots in 2019 against my Philadelphia 76ers. But enough of that. Connor Mance is the Kawhi Leonard of the NBA. Next comparison, Adrian Wildershut. Right now, FloTrack rankings has him number 2, right behind Mance. He's run well. He won ACC this past weekend. But he kind of has a lot of these big wins. He has these wins, these regular season wins, but nothing really has happened yet at the NCAA level. He does kind of well, but he's really talented. We know that. We know he's talented. So, in my opinion, Adrian Wildershut is a Dame Lillard of the NBA. We know Dame Lillard is an all-time great player. He's top 75 all-time according to the NBA. And he's talented, but we don't really know he hasn't won an NBA title. He hasn't done it, like at the biggest stage. He has some great moments, like Wildershut has some great moments. He's run 13:30 into 5K. He's won some impressive races. He won ACCs, but he hasn't done it yet at the NCAA level. So Adrian Wildershut is a Dame Lillard of the NBA. Next athlete down the list, Wesley Kiptoo. Wesley Kiptoo, I think, is the most talented runner in the NCAA. Low key, probably, it's always just a thrill to watch. He's the most exciting runner to watch. You just love the way he can go out hard in the opening mile, opening 5K, and just drop the field and then hold on. And we saw what he did in that indoor championships for Iowa State last year, where he won the 5K by lapping the field and comes back and goes for broke in the cross country championships. Doesn't win, but you're just like, damn, much respect. Wesley Kiptoo is the Kevin Durant of the NBA. I mean, Kevin Durant, obviously LeBron James is the best of all time, but Kevin Durant is the greatest, most disrespected player. He's my Wesley Kiptoo. And in this photo, big shout out to my boy, Jeremy Sudbury, the new Iowa State head coach. I'm sure he's going to be doing this a lot with Wesley Kiptoo this season and into the outdoor season, because he's going to know he's not going to have many Wesley Kiptoos in his coaching career, and he has one now, so he's going to appreciate every single race he gets to coach him for this year and hopefully one more season because he's only a junior. So Wesley Kiptoo, Kevin Durant, Steve Nash, Jeremy Sudbury. Just big shout out to him. Iowa State, man, you guys are doing well. So close to Oklahoma State. So close. It's like a dual meet. But hey, Oklahoma State can win it. So if you're losing to Oklahoma State by a point or two, you're a podium team. Next athlete down the list, Cooper Teare. So who's Cooper Teare? Cooper Teare, he's kind of like, he runs for, the sexy team Oregon, right? The Tracktown USA. He's had some great regular season moments. He's won an NCAA title, right? He beat Louis Grijalva in the outdoor 5K. But, Cooper Teare, he kind of can be in the shadows a bit at Oregon. It's kind of weird to say that a guy gets fourth place at the Olympic trials is in the shadows at Oregon. But some guy named Edward Cheserek was there not that long ago. There's another guy there named Cole Hawker who just went pro and made the Olympic final. So despite Cooper Teare's incredible talent and incredible performances, he kind of is the second fiddle at Oregon. So he's kind of like the Klay Thompson, right? Klay Thompson, one of the greatest three-point shooters in the NBA history. He's one of the best to ever play the game. He can completely change a game. Cooper Teare, when we look back on it, he's going to be an all-time great NCAA athlete, but he doesn't have that. He's not the Steph Curry, right? That would be like the Chez. He's not. So he's great, but he's not the number one guy. He's the number two guy who's now role playing as the number one guy right now because Cole Hawker's not there, and he's doing pretty damn good. I mean, he did lose at Pac-12s, but I know how good he is, and even though he got second at Pac-12s, I'm going to still keep him in my top four. I'm ranking him ahead of someone like Charles Hicks, who beat him, because I know what Cooper Teare can do. One more male athlete, I want to go Isaid Rodriguez. He's probably, and we talk about Adrian Wildershut's talent, man, Isaid, this kid is an animal, and he has constantly been going up against Wesley Kiptoo at Iowa State. He was going up against Edwin Kurgat at Iowa State, so he has a crazy rival in his own conference that's just pushing him. Great talent. He is the Luka Doncic. I mean, we know Luka's the future of the NBA. We're just waiting for it to happen. Maybe it's going to happen. We don't know. Dallas, kind of always a sleeper team. Isaid Rodriguez, he's the Luka Doncic. Maybe Isaid finds a way to get that win. Who knows? So that's what I have. Connor Mance, Kawhi, Adrian Wildershut, Dame Lillard, Wesley Kiptoo, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson is Cooper Teare, and Isaid Rodriguez is Luka Doncic. But that's not it. Let's go on to the women's side and compare these women to more NBA players. So, Mercy Chelangat. I've been a big Mercy Chelangat fan ever since I predicted her to be the low-key sleeper last year. She went on to win and has been dominant ever since. Mercy Chelangat is the Giannis Antetokounmpo of the NCAA. Giannis just won his first NBA title. He's kind of like back-to-back MVPs. Mercy Chelangat, she's running insane times. She's the defending champion. Giannis, the defending champion. Mercy Chelangat is the Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know how to say his name. I don't know how to say NCAA runners' names. I don't know how to say NBA players' names. I'm just bad at the English language. But you get the idea. Mercy Chelangat is the Giannis of the NBA. Celia McCabe, West Virginia sophomore. She wasn't even ranked in my top 40 preseason. Then she runs extremely well at Nuttycombe, wins it. So I'm like, all right, you're top 10. Put her top 5. Then she wins a close Big 12 race. She's just running consistently and showing no signs of weakness. I consider her the number one challenger to a Chelangat. That's why I rank her now second in the nation going into regional weekend. And with that, she's kind of this newcomer. We know that we're now seeing the talent, but you're like, she's new to the scene. She's a Ja Morant. Ja Morant, we see what he's doing in the dunking. Everyone is kind of thinking about Zion Williamson. He's the guy who got selected second behind Zion. So Zion. But hey, Ja Morant right now is playing out of his mind, averaging over 30 points a game, and Zion's on the bench. So hey, Ja Morant, you're the true hoopster right now among the youngins. And Celia McCabe, she's only a sophomore. She's the Ja Morant of NCAA women's cross country running. All right, one more. Whitney Orton, BYU senior, super senior, I believe. She just won West Coast Conference championships. She's the Anthony Davis. She's the Anthony Davis of the NCAA. Anthony Davis, great talent, right? Won an NBA title with LeBron. We know what he did in New Orleans. He's been like a steady top 10, top 15 player in the NBA. And that's what Whitney Orton has been. She's been a consistent top tier runner. She hasn't been like the uber dominant, so she's not the LeBron James of the Lakers, but she's the Anthony Davis of the Lakers. And Anthony Davis was a big reason why the Lakers won in 2020. And Whitney Orton was a big reason why they won in 2020 as well, or 2021, because that's when the meet was. Even though she probably thought she would be a top 5 stick, she still was their number 2 runner, finished in the top 20. She was a key low scorer for the eventual BYU Cougar champions. So that's what I got. I got Mercy Chelangat is the Giannis, Celia McCabe is Ja Morant, and Whitney Orton is the Anthony Davis. Now, for those who listen to the FloTrack podcast, I'm a diehard Philadelphia sports fan. I love my Sixers as much as they make me go crazy day in and day out. I love Philadelphia sports, so I have to choose an NCAA runner to be Joel Embiid. Like, who is the Joel Embiid of NCAA cross country? And I think it's kind of obvious. Joel Embiid is the Abdi Hamid Nur. Joel Embiid, Abdi Hamid Nur. They're one and the same. They both got that great personality. They both play for a good team. Now, the Sixers are not Northern Arizona because the Sixers haven't won. They've won shit. They haven't done anything, and NAU's trying to win 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6. I don't know. It's hard to keep track. So the teams they play for aren't really comparable, but the personalities, the dominance, people probably think Abdi Hamid Nur, no one's talking about him because it's all about Nico Young, or Luis Grijalva or all the other guys who run for NAU. But Abdi Hamid Nur coming in, he's still, I think this is third year there or third or fourth year there because he had a redshirt 2 years. I don't even know about that. He had a crazy journey into running, but now he's like a legit, we know Abdi Hamid Nur on an awful day is going to finish 10th. That's how good he is. And Joel Embiid on an awful day is going to put up 20 points. But Joel Embiid, Abdi Hamid Nur. So All I know is that, like, basically wherever, if Embiid and Nur wins the individual title, that just means my Sixers winning the individual title. Or maybe I could take credit. So if NAU wins, Sixers win. But that's a little unfair to NAU because I don't want to put the Sixers curse on the Lumberjacks. But yeah, so that is my NBA NCAA crossover analysis. I know we're not really breaking down too much of the results. Again, go back, listen to the Friday FloTrack podcast. We break down every NCAA conference championship result, at least the notable ones that happened on that Friday. Again, the team rankings, they didn't really change much, right? We're talking in circles. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to preview what's going to happen in the next episode. It's going to be a great episode. Next episode, I'm going to reveal the final projected 31 teams, right? So I'll go back to the Colas calculator. I'll input the conference championship results, and then I'll be able to break down kind of the official bubble teams going into regionals, the teams that need help, the teams that don't need help, and still sprinkle in a little bit of, who are the podium contenders, who are the NCAA team contenders. I mean, we kind of know we kind of know who they are by now, but hey, we're 3 weeks out. We got to analyze our analysis of the double analysis. I mean, I may even reveal my algorithm that I've been using to analyze all these athletes. I mean, 255 athletes get to go to NCAAs, but there's thousands and thousands of athletes who are running here, there, and everywhere. They are trying to figure out, all right, is second place at ACCs the same thing as fourth place at Pac-12s? What about MAC Conference versus the Missouri Valley Conference? You don't even know these things, but I have an algorithm, and I've created the algorithm, and I can show you the algorithm is in this Excel sheet, and you can see I have all of these numbers. I have these rating systems. And if you look, it goes pretty damn deep. Like we're 1,000 Excel, 1,000. That's just now we're on to the women. 2,000 rows? 2,500 rows? Wait, even more? 3,000 rows? Dude, I'm analyzing 3,144 athletes. Yelena Lopez, a freshman from San Jose State. I know exactly what you're doing. I know that you have the unofficial flow rating of 1.8. In fact, it's actually the worst rating, so I feel bad kind of pointing it out that you are officially ranked as the worst athlete in the NCAA. But it's okay, you're only a freshman. Only can go up from here. But, I have this official rating system, which is here. Basically, the lower the number, the better you are. And basically, if your rating is a 1, you're basically a top 40 runner. So under 1 is a top 40. Over 1 is outside of the top 40. You get the idea. But I'll break down a little bit of how I do these kind of little algorithms. You can see there's like formulas and craziness. Look at this. I got all these formulas. Excel, man. Putting all my accounting to good use. Anyway, that is the podcast of the day. NCAA Cross Country Show. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, do the internet things. And we'll see you next week. But also, I'll probably see you later on in the week because we got the FloTrack podcast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We got this show every Tuesday. And then we also have Kevin doing some race breakdowns. We got some workouts going out. We got, it's cross country season, baby. Do it. All right. We'll see you next week.